Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited today. I'm introducing a new series, and this is the first episode. So I want you to hold on to the end because I've got a message that kind of grinds my gears about some of the things that we're going to talk about today. But first, we're going to answer the question, what makes this game great? And we're going to be talking about Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. Let's get right into it. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is an action platformer in the same style as Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It was released in June 2019 and developed by ArtPlay, published by 505 Games. The development of this game was financed through a Kickstarter in 2015 that raised $5.5 million. And the developer was Koji Igamari, who was a developer at Konami and worked on many Castlevania games, including Castlevania Symphony of the Night. His experience and expertise really shows through in this game. So I'll be the first to admit, I was skeptical when I first heard of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I was a big fan of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's one of my favorite games for PlayStation 1. And I thought, really, can lightning strike twice? Can Iga do this without the support of the Konami team and all their resources? I mean, Konami's a AAA studio. Can he really pull it off on his own? But we're going to look at that, and we're going to look more coming right up. Hold on. Set during the Industrial Revolution, you play as Miriam, the Shardbinder. She's on a quest to stop the demons summoned by the Alchemist Guild, who were afraid of the industrialization of the world and were fearing losing power. The game is set in a town and a large castle, which you traverse, fighting demons and gaining new abilities and new items that allow you to access new areas of the castle. Like Symphony of the Night, in this game you can find a huge amount of weapons, armor, and accessories for Miriam to use in her quest. Unlike Symphony of the Night, this game also has a crafting system which allows you to craft the weapons and armor and improve upon them and gain access to even more items. This game also has dozens of spells available for Miriam's use. In fact, most enemies drop shards, which give you access to these spells. You can enhance these spells just like you can enhance armor or weapons. You can even create new spells through the crafting system. In short, this game has great game mechanics that allow for a progressive variety in the style of the play as you go through the game. As you've been able to see, the graphics in this game are vibrant and bright. They're very colorful, beautiful graphics, really. The backgrounds are amazing. All the characters and all the demons and all the creatures and things that you fight are well detailed. It really is a really great looking game. The audio in this game is nothing short of amazing. It's composed orchestral music, and it absolutely adds to the aesthetic of the game and fits this game very well. For the time period that it's set, and for the style of game, and for what it is wonderful music. Great graphics, great music, great controls, great progression. This game has a lot of things that make a good game. It's a solid game, right in the base of it. But a lot of games have this. So what makes this game really stand out? What drives this game from good to great? Here's the answer to that, in my opinion. The first thing I'd like to discuss is the varying game styles that this game offers. There are enough spells in this game and items to improve your magic skills that you could have a purely magic build or a very strong magic build, or a mix between the two, a magic build and a fighter. As you can see, there are many spells in different areas. Some are passive, some have to be activated, and some of these grant you new abilities. The ones in yellow are the ones that grant you new abilities or buff an ability or a statistic that you already have. So it could be resistance to lightning, or it could be strength plus 10, or it could have an effect on some other of your magics. The next item is purely aesthetic. It doesn't actually have an effect on the game, but it is kind of cool. As you move through the castle, you will pick up books that have the different hairstyles in them. If you bring them to the stylist, you can actually change Miriam's hairstyle, her hair color, her eye color, her skin color, and the color of her clothing. And you have a lot of choices here, as you can see. In fact, this is a crazy amount of choices for, for what it is. And this might not be a big deal for PC gamers, but in the console world, you don't get this kind of customization in a lot of games. There are some, and my brother has shown me some of his fighting games where you can change the entire color of somebody's outfit, etc. But you don't get that a lot in these kind of games. You also have a lot of choice in the fighting style that you use. By choosing different weapons from different groups, whether they be a sword or a spear, you can choose range, speed, damage, whatever suits your style of play. And since this game's release, 2 additional characters have been added. Loveless, who you see here, is actually a villain in the game that you fight. But the next character's name is Aurora, and she's depicted as this girl with her little ghost, and she uses sunlight and magic to defeat her enemies, and carries this little sword as well. Several new modes have also been added since this game has been released. This is the boss rush mode, and in it you fight the bosses one at a time. There's 2 sets, and after you defeat each set of the bosses, you actually get a crafting item, a material that you can use to craft more powerful weapons. There's also a boss revenge mode, where you take the role of the boss, the evil boss. You have a choice of 4, and you fight against the protagonist, their allies one by one, in sort of a boss rush mode fashion. So you fight one, beat them, and move on to the next one. And my personal favorite mode that has been added since the release of this game is the Randomizer mode. In it, you can actually customize what items or what things get randomized. You can move the shards around to different enemies. You can move items pickups, item locations. You can move the locations of save rooms, shops, teleport rooms. It's quite a level of customization, and you can play through the game. It's more customization than we're really used to on consoles. I know the modding community on PC, this might not be that big of a deal, but this is my favorite mode to play because it really adds replayability and it really adds a new dynamic to the game. And the final mode is really for those of us that remember the old Castlevania games. This classic mode basically takes the castle, turns it into a stage-by-stage adventure. So you basically go through it in a linear fashion, no jumping around, no looking for items to get to another part of the stage or another part of the area. You basically just go through it level by level. It is very, very difficult. It's punishingly difficult, but it is kind of a cool mode, especially for those of us who enjoyed those Castlevania games. Customization, extra content, extra ways to play. This game has an insane amount of replay value. I can tell you from personal experience, my main file, I played through this game 6 times. And that doesn't include the randomizer, which I played through several times myself on different files. This game has a great amount of replay value, an insane amount of things to find, and I haven't even talked about everything. This game is one of the great games for the Metrovania genre. It's one of the great games, I feel, for the PlayStation 4. So, before we get into my little gripe and the thing that grinds my gears, I just want to ask, are there any games you want to see in upcoming episodes? If so, leave a comment. Let me know. Also, take some time to look around my channel and enjoy my other content. I'm doing this so I can share my love of video games and my love of playing video games. So, enjoy. But now, I want to talk about something that really grinds my gears, but something that this game did very well. All this extra content, all the extra modes, all the extra characters, everything that was added to the game after its release was free. None of it came as a DLC that you had to buy. It's really a philosophy from the old school of video games, and that is when you buy a game, you get the entire game. There's no day one DLC. There's no DLC later that you have to pay for. There's no microtransactions and micro purchases. You buy the game and you get the entire game. I really wish a lot of publishers, a lot of developers would pay attention to that. And I wish a lot of players would ask for that. Demand it. Don't accept a half-done game and then have to pay extra money for the rest. Now, there's some games you may want to buy the DLC or the extra skins. Overwatch 2. I play Overwatch 2. It's a free game. So some people buy credits so they can buy extra stuff. Well, that's one thing. But when you pay full price for a brand new title, you put it in your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, and the very first thing that comes up is buy this DLC. To me, that's saying, well, we sold you part of the game. If you want the rest, pay a little extra. Pay a little extra. We've got 2 or 3 DLCs for you today. Pay a little extra for each one. I'm a big believer that if you buy a game, you should get the entire game. If later, a couple years, like Skyrim did, you have a few DLCs added on, that's one thing. But when you have day one DLC, that's telling me that they cut that out of the game for the sole purpose of making a little bit extra money. And that's pretty slimy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I know I enjoy putting this together, and I'm really excited about this series. So thank you very much for watching. Like I said, enjoy my other content on my channel, and I'm going to have more episodes coming up. Thank you so much.